really, I never wanted to be a programmer. It was more, I want to understand how that stuff works at a granular level to be able to sell it better. So therefore, I went for the tech degree, which coincidentally got me into ERP sales. And, my very first year selling ERP, you know what ERP is? Enterprise resource planning. So think of
Okay.
things like Microsoft, Sage, Oracle,
Yeah.
SAP.
I used to work for
I
SAP.
there, and you don't know what ERP is? I mean, that's like their main
I
product.
I did sponsorships for them. So basically
Okay.
we did, the Monaco Grand Prix, the Masters. We were doing essentially
Mhm.
event production for them. So yeah, the business side, I didn't have to deal with it.
I specialize in SAP and Sage, small to mid-sized business software, business management software. But when I first came into the industry, didn't know a lick. But on the sales side, I knew how to manage a sales cycle. Okay. I knew one, it was personal branding, as in making sure that the company, the prospects, the individuals liked you, felt comfortable with you, trusted you. And number two, it was how do I manage a sales cycle as far as I'm not the techie person. You have to separate the tech from the sales. I'm the sales guy. They're going to expect me to say, hey, David, can the software do this? I'm going to say yes. Okay. But the actual tech person, the subject matter expert, might be like, well, yeah, you can, but you've got to do it this way or that way, workarounds and a real check answer. So I learned very quickly, separate the two, let the tech, speak for itself. And then I work in a relationship, build that, and then I manage the people that I'm bringing into the sales cycle, as far as say this, not that. And it actually allowed me to get a lot further in life. I mean, my first year set records at Vision 33 for a first year sales rep ever. That's never been touched by someone brand new to the industry. And it was because I had that tech degree. So I understood how things worked under the cover. Did I know exactly how SAP worked? No. And 6 years in, to be honest, I still kind of don't, but I have the experts that I can rely on to answer those questions, and I separate the two. Does that make sense? So that's kind of how I've, been able to sell myself, across a lot of things, whether it's the Forbes Biz Dev Council. I just had an article out there not too long ago about how to know if you're good to be a SaaS sales rep for software as a service. That's so hot. And it amazes me, at least, I mean, it's been out for over 6 months, and at least still, I just 3, 4, 5 days ago, something like that, I had a woman hit me up and she's like, hey, I've worked in pharmaceutical sales my whole life. I'm thinking of a career change. And that's one thing that we actually focus on this show, because so many people have switched careers midlife. And, I'm talking to her and she's going through, and I'm like, well, there you go. Like, you were selling a platform and a service that had a recurring cost. You actually do have SaaS sales experience. Just when you were selling it, it wasn't called SaaS, it was called something else 10 years ago. You just got to reframe everything. And I've helped a lot of people out like that. It sounds like that's kind of what you're out there doing and teaching people how to do in that personal level.